Great Scott! This is a Scott cocktail. This week, let me show you how to make it. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt, I'm the Whiskey Nerd, and like I said, today I'm making a simple little Scotch whiskey cocktail. I'm making a Scott, and I got the idea for this cocktail not from anywhere in particular, just from the Diffords website. I'll put a link down below if you haven't seen the Diffords website. Really great little website full of cocktail recipes. I was looking for kind of random cocktail recipes and I hit across this one here called the Scott. It is a simple enough little cocktail recipe. It comes from the Clift Hotel in San Francisco, and it is a very simple 3-ingredient cocktail calling for Scotch whiskey, Drambuie and dry vermouth. Now, dry vermouth, simple enough, aromatized wine on the drier side. It's not a sweet vermouth. Scotch whiskey, it doesn't call for anything in particular like blended, no, like a single malt or anything. It just says blended Scotch whiskey, so that's what I got right here. And then lastly, it calls for Drambuie, which is a Scottish kind of whiskey liqueur. It is very honeyed, it's very like spiced, it's quite nice. It's made with whiskey and it comes in at 40% alcohol by volume, so it's as strong as the kind of the basic whiskeys you'd be finding in the streets and the stores, but it's just got this nice, really kind of rich character that will balance out the kind of dryness of the vermouth, which is why you wouldn't go in with like a sweet vermouth. And that's enough time talking about the cocktail. It's time we make it. It is going to be a stirred drink, so we're going to get our mixing glass and we're going to pop a nice rock of ice into there before we measure out our ingredients. Starting off with our Scotch whiskey, I'm going to go in with 45 ml or 1.5 ounces of our blended Scotch whiskey. Like I said, the recipe doesn't call for anything in particular. This is just Valentine's. I just grabbed it, a simple small bottle, because I wouldn't normally be using Scotch whiskey in cocktails, so I just got a simple small bottle of it into there. And then we're going to go in with our Drambuie. Like I said, this is a nice little whiskey liqueur, but it does have a lot of flavor, so we're only going to go in with a bit. We're going to go in with 12.5 ml of our Drambuie into there, and then we're going to go in with our dry vermouth. This is Martini's just extra dry vermouth. Simple enough. You can use whatever one you want, but for me, I just like this one. So I'm going to go in with 20 ml of our dry vermouth into there, just like that. And then we're going to stir it up for about 30-35 seconds because we want it nice and cold, because we're not going to be serving it with any ice. So I'm going to stir it up. Okay, I can feel that is nicely chilled now, so I'm going to go to strain it out into a little coupe glass. I'm going to get my glass there, going to pop my strainer up top just to catch that ice cube and pour it out, just like that. Plain and simple, very nice. And then for a garnish, what we're going to do is we're going to get a little lemon zest, express that over the top, just to give us some nice kind of citrusy oils, and make sure we get that just across all that glass there, so we really get a nice little bit of citrus into our glass, into our cocktail. And that right there is how I make a Scott. Now real quick, before I taste this cocktail, if you're new here, scroll down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. I put out whiskey reviews on Wednesdays, and I put out cocktail recipes featuring whiskey every Friday, so if you want to see those, make sure you hit subscribe. And while you're down there, leave me a comment and tell me what kind of cocktails you think I should make in future, because I'm always on the hunt for new recipes. But now, let's taste this one. Okay. It is kind of simple. Like it's not overly complicated. Like the whiskey is there, it's present. It's got a little bit of like that kind of Scotch blended whiskey, slightly malty, slightly biscuity flavor. The Drambuie gives you this nice bit of honey. It gives it probably the most of like the backbone, the structure with the herbs and the spices coming through. The little bit of the vermouth as well gives just like those extra aromas, the herbal kind of botanical quality to it, while kind of tapering it back and preventing it from being too sweet. The little bit of the lemon oil up the top just gives it like a little bit of structure, a little bit of like citrus as a contrast to the otherwise kind of simple nature of the cocktail. It's a kind of simple enough cocktail. It's one that I don't think I would make for a lot of people. It's one that I don't think I'd be like, oh, you have to try a Scott. But I've got Drambuie, I've got like the other ingredients, simple, kind of whip it up, easy enough to enjoy, and it's something a little bit different. It's not like a heavy whiskey sour or like a heavy old fashioned with all that sugar. It is on the lighter side, so it is kind of like a nice little break. Like if you just had a heavy meal or something like that with a lot of rich flavors, I could see this being very appealing then, where you have that a little bit of a tapering back, you have lighter flavors in your palate, just to kind of enjoy something a bit different. So I'm going to keep on enjoying it, and I'll see you next time. Sláinte.